What's going on, everybody? Welcome to What Up Play, the channel. Talk about all kinds of things, how to fix and build, maintain things, as well as product review. We're doing a product review on another motor. What motor is it? The SpeedZone Evolution. If you haven't heard about it, you're about to. So let's crack this thing open and take a look. So this is the first time I am opening this thing. Got some nifty little stickers here. Now, I don't know a whole lot about this motor, about this company. I only saw that it even existed because I was on the Roar website and I saw it as being a Roar certified motor. But so I was like, heck, let's get one, see what it can do. I like new motors. I like finding new things out there and ones you don't really see out there in the wild world of RC. So first thing we have here is the sensor cable. I like it has the tube here. That's nice. Some people might not like it because it makes it hard to run the wires in the machined out grooves of the RC cars, but I like it because it looks cool. Now the motor case looks like a Surpass motor case, and the motor it has like a laminate over the stator, but it looks like it's kind of peeling off, so it makes it look like it's used, but it's not. It's brand new. The coils inside, I don't know if you see that. You probably see it better when I take the motor apart. They're not shiny. They're kind of discolored a little bit. I don't know if it's due to oxidization or if it's just due to the coating that's on it. Won't know until we get into it more, and maybe we'll never know. But from here, it looks like it might just be the coating that's on it. So the sensor readout, I love that. Nice, easy to read. It doesn't blend in. I don't need my old man eyes, my glasses, to be able to read that. That's pretty well laid out there. It is preset to 50 degrees. This is the basic one. This is not the select or the team version. They have like 3 different versions. This one here, the regular one, is like $115. They range all the way up to $160. Stator, the rotor feels decent strong. The rotor number on this, if you want to know, is D7.2-12.5. So 12.5 millimeter rotor that's in it. This is a 17.5. It's even stamped on the collar in there. I do like the machine work. It's nice, very nice. Good thick contacts here. Good space, so doesn't worry about shorting out or anything there. Single sensor port. So this all looks good. Let's go ahead and put it on the tunalizer. Let's see what this thing can do straight out of the box. I don't know if it's pre-tuned, but it is already set to, as you can see there, it's already set to 50 degrees. But let's say, looks like it's already probably been tuned a little bit. You can see that they've used an Allen wrench in here. Little worn marks where the Allen wrench looked like it probably slipped once or twice. But alright, let's go ahead and put on the tunalizer and go learn something. Okay, here I have it on the, of course it's on the Loadmaster frame, but I don't have the slave motor because I'm only using it for the motor mount. And yes, this is the old version, and I don't have the newer version. I don't roll like that just to be able to buy the newest one out. Hard enough to try to keep up with the newest motors that are out. So I have it in here. We'll go ahead and run it This is factory, straight from the factory. Let's see what we have here. That right there is probably the quietest motor I've ever tested. That is quiet. I had to double check, make sure I had all the plugs plugged in. That was really quiet. 4.61 amps. I bet we can get a little bit more out of that. Take it up to about 5.5. Yeah, they have it tuned right now at 51.3. End bell deviation, rotor symmetry, everything right there looks good. It looks really good. Let's go ahead and see what the RPMs is on this thing. 22,930. Pretty good. I bet we can get 23,000 RPMs out of this thing easy. So yeah, let's go ahead and adjust the timing on it a little bit more and see if we can get it up to about 5.5. Alright guys. Alright, I went up with it about 1.5, maybe 2 degrees. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that is a very quiet motor. We have 5.65, 54.4 at 3199 kV. See it there? Saw there's a glare on it. Everything stays the same there. 93 degrees when it's running. A little warmer, not too bad. Not like the last motor I tested, which was the R1. It was 99 degrees. And it's about the same temperature inside my office. But anyhow, let's go ahead and take this thing apart. Actually, I'm gonna put on the Loadmaster, try it on that, and then we'll take it apart, look at it, do some tuning on it, put it back together again, readjust the timing, and then put on the Loadmaster again and see what we get. Oh, after we do the RPM. Wow, we're at 24. We jumped up 1,000 RPMs doing that, going up about a half amp. That's nice, very nice. With a 5.6. Nice, very nice. And I don't know if you guys saw that. I had the glare on there. Jumped at about 24,000 RPM. Cool. All right, let's take it apart and see what it looks like on the inside. So now I have the motor over here, the SpeedZone motor over here. I have the Surpass V6 lightweight over here, as always, for the load motor. So this is going to be the drive motor, the SpeedZone load motor. Okay, let's see what this thing does on the auto run. I can't get over how quiet that motor is, even on the even under a load. All right, 1169 kV or current. kV is 2843. 91 degrees on the motor run. Let's go ahead and run a RPM test. They're at 21,300 and some change. Let's say 21,300. Okay. Now let's dissect this bad boy and see what's inside. Here we have it all apart. Start off with the stator here. This is the big stator. It's the fat stator. So you know it's going to be designed for a little bit more torque. That's why they put a bigger stator on them. The discoloration of the windings, that's due to epoxy. Like I said, they have epoxy on the windings. Now, I know some of you are saying this will no longer meet the 2026 ROAR rules, but ROAR will allow epoxy motors that are made before the rule takes effect, which the no epoxy rule takes effect starting in September. Right now this is August, so this will actually be good until December, the end of December 2026. So this is still good for just over a year, which most people probably swap out their motor within a year anyways. The windings, they do look good, they do look uniformed. I don't know if you can see that in the picture, in the video. What I mean by uniforms, I mean the windings are going around side by side. You don't have them go around and crisscross each other and stuff like that as you go around. They're pretty uniformed. There's no none of the white epoxy on the inside. But yeah, it's looks good. The only, like I said, before the beginning of the video, the only thing I don't like is the epoxy that's on the outside. It's like some type of a coating, like a paint or something, acrylic paint. I don't know, but it looks like it's peeling off almost. But it's not. But it's just shiny in some spots and then not shiny in others. All right. We'll take a look at the see what we got here. Turn my meter here. Come on. There he goes. Okay, we'll check the inductance here. We'll check number, see, we got number A. Let's check A here. Letter A. Okay, inductance I have set at on A is, well, that's not accurate. There we go. I'm going to put it down. It's jumping all over the place right now. I put my leads in the wrong spot. Why don't you guys scream at me and tell me the leads are in the wrong spot? Okay, inductance on A is, what you see there, 42.1. For B, 41.6. What is that, 41.2 or 40? Yeah, that's 41.2 is A. 41.6 was B. And then C, 42.2. So that's pretty close on these here. It's not the lowest. Again, the inductance, I don't get into that argument. Some say high is low, some say high is best, some say low is best. That's about on par of all the other ones I tested, except for the R1. The R1, if you remember, was in the mid 30s, I believe it was. So let's look at the rotor. The rotor, when this thing was shimmed, Did have about 4 shims on the back and 3 on the front, so it was about 2.5 millimeters of shims on the front and about 3 millimeters in the back, looked like, roughly. Part number is SZER 125S. There's a part number on that. I don't know if you can see that in the video. Might be some glare. Evolution. Let's check the gal strength on this. The description for the motor says that it has high torque rotor, so let's see what their high torque rotor is. They could mean it when you get it in the team version. Okay, start over. Looks like on the north side we're going to get like a 1760, 1761 on the north. South side 17 1759, that's pretty close. 1760, that's pretty close. North and south are right there with each other. Has some, so you put some epoxy right here in the front to balance it. I like this, really smooth. I mean, really quiet motor when it ran. So, let's see how this thing's sat in here. Like I said, it was shimmed in the back. Well, it looks to me like it rubs the rotor does rub the sensors, so have to keep it shimmed in the back. We'll shim it to where it's just barely off the sensors right there. Sensor board looks clean, looks very looks good. I mean, it looks like every other sensor board out there. The R1 is the only one that was like real fancy and real shiny and had that coating on it. Horizontal sensors on there. The bearings on here look like they're the standard bearings like you see on all the other ones, like the Surpass and the Tridini motors and stuff like that. I mean, I wouldn't doubt if this motor was made by Surpass. Seems to be most of the motors I've tested are, or appear to be. Alright, so let's go ahead and take the measurements of the stator. I didn't do that. There we go. 34.32 millimeters. I don't know if you see that. Alright, I think that's all the measurements. I'll go ahead and weigh the rotor, put it all back together. Before I do that, I'll shim it, make sure it's nice and tight, try to get as close to the sensor board as possible without touching, and then give it the least amount of slop. I'll put it back together, check the timing on it, and then do an unloaded run, and then I'll do a loaded run and see how well this thing performs afterwards. And then the next video, of course, I'll do the running on the Jerry. So, alright, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I have it all back together. One thing I'll point out, I should have pointed out back when I had it apart, but I've seen it once before on the Trinity slot machine. The heads on the screws, there's one screw that was different. This one and this one here, if you look at it close, you can see these right here, 1.5 millimeter Allen wrench hex head. And this one right here is a 2.0. So it's kind of weird. Like I said, I've seen once before on a slot machine. motor, but they look like they're from the same type of batch. I don't know why they're different, because if you look at the heads, they have the dome shape heads on the screws. They're not the squared off ones. Usually the 2.0 screws will have they'll be square block looking heads, but these ones here are kind of rounded off. Kind of weird. Anyhow, let's get this thing on the motor tuner here, tune analyzer. That thing plugged in. Let's see what we're set at. We're at 5.82 amps, 3236 kV. Let's see what we got here. 0.5, 1.0, and 1.5. Let's take a look at the RPM. We're at 24,003, so we got a couple more 100 RPMs out of it. But we're running a little bit more amperage as well. We'll see how that works on the Jerry. As a matter of fact, I think that's a little too high. I might drop it down some. We'll take a look on it. Not the Jerry, but the Loadmaster. Take a look at it and compare it to how it did the last time. Because like I said before, when you take a motor apart, you put it back together, the timing on it is going to change, just because everything doesn't line up exactly the same way it did before. I didn't check the motor temperature on it. Again, it's a very quiet motor. I'm going to guess it's due to really well balanced rotor. So 97 degrees. So it's actually probably less than that, because I've already ran the RPMs and ran it through it twice. So anyhow, it's not bad. Let's go ahead and put this on the Loadmaster and see what the RPMs are on the Loadmaster. Okay, let's go ahead and run the RPM. If I remember right, the last time we ran it before I took it apart, it was 1169 was the RPM, or was the amperage, and then like 21,300 was the RPM. Let's see what we have here. 21,316 and 1190. So yeah, we went over the sweet spot just as I thought. Usually the sweet spot is about 5.5 on motors, or a little bit less. So let's go ahead and kick the timing down on it just a smidge, and see what we do after that. Okay, here we are with the timing. I kicked it down about 1 degree. It's hard to adjust this thing because it's like barely move it. And okay, let's see what we got here. Auto test. Whatever it is, it is. Uh, 5 amps, 5.07 amps. And I think we'll keep it there, because I mean, I just barely moved that thing. And 52.9 degrees. I think that was probably maybe 1 degree less than it was before. Everything else looking good. 102 degrees. That's, well, I've been running it on the Loadmaster, remember, so it's not a room temperature. It didn't start off at room temperature. So all right, let's do the RPM, see what the RPMs are at 5 amps. 23,700, which is about 700 RPMs higher than it was before I took it apart, with a 5.5 amp, somewhere around there, 5 point something, 5.6, somewhere around there, amp draw. So let's go ahead and hook this up to the Loadmaster. Get this thing tightened down. Okay, go ahead and do the auto run. Now you see it. 11.39, which is less amp draw than it was before, and 2830 kV, which is more kV than it was before I disassembled it, before I tuned it. So let's go ahead and do the manual here. 21,200, which is about a couple hundred RPMs less than it was before, but it has a less amp draw. 11.3, so I'm okay with that, because like I said, adjusting this anymore, it just, the amperage just jumps up. So next thing to do, let's go ahead and put all the numbers on the spreadsheet, take a look at it, and give my final thoughts on the inspection of this. And then in the next video, we'll have this thing on the Jerry and see how it performs there. Okay, I lied. We're not going to do the numbers yet. I was thinking about it, and I just don't like the numbers, leaving it where it was with the tuning. Sorry, I got lazy. Well, I was trying to get lazy and say, yeah, it's good enough, but I went ahead and cranked it down just a little bit, and because that 5.9, where it was, whatever, it was too high. So like I said, around 5.5 on a motor is where you want to be. So let's see where we're at now. I just barely cranked it down. Let's see here. Hopefully we're around the 5.5 range. See where we're at. 5.38. That's good. And 53.7. So that's one thing on this motor that I'm finding out with this motor versus other motors is the timing on this. The end bell is very, very touchy. I mean, I don't even think I moved a half a degree and it went 1 degree. And before I moved like 1 degree and it went 1.5 degrees. So it's way off. So there's the so there. Let's go ahead and do the RPM. Now you saw that the amperage was lower than last time. Let's see what the RPM will be at. About 24,000. 24,000 RPMs. Let's put on the Loadmaster. Get that shaft to spin around. There you go. And this side. Now, if you guys ever use a Loadmaster, always make sure you retighten both sides. Even though you never loosen this side up, this side here, always tighten it up because you'll find that it does vibrate loose. Okay, let's do the auto run with that. The Loadmaster. So we're looking at now. 11.43, which is lower than it was before I tuned it originally. The amperage draw is, and let's see, let's go ahead and do the RPM run. 11.45, so we're about 0.25 amps less than before, and we're a little bit more RPMs, about the same, 21,300, jumped to 400, 21,400. So a little bit more RPM, less amp draw. That's what you look for right there. That's what you look for. So now let's go ahead and take the numbers, throw them in the machine, and on the spreadsheet, and then we'll go over, and then I'll give you what compared to the other motors, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on it. All right, everybody, let's go hit it. Okay, here's the numbers. We have the SpeedZone Evolution 17.5, weight 4.8. The Gauss 1761, 1760. That's pretty good. Stator length, inductance is pretty good.
Stator IR and the stair diameter. Let's see. So the numbers went through a lot of tuning and a lot of adjustments on this. This is probably the hardest motor I've ever had to tune. The slightest movement in the timing, I mean, I move half a degree and it jumps 2 to 3 degrees. Um, it was really hard to adjust, really hard to get nailed down just right. But I mean, look at the numbers. The numbers look pretty good. Um, 5.38, 24,000 RPMs, 1143 kV. I mean, 1143 amps here loaded. We lost about 6 amps loaded. 363 kV, 11%, and 26,000, 2,691 RPMs. So, how does it compare to the other motors? Let's look at the last one. The last one I did, here I'll just do this here and get a view more. The last one I did was the R1 Works. It had 21,412, a little bit about 30 RPMs or so more than the SpeedZone, but look at the amp draw. The amp draw on the R1 Works is 1183, and this one here is 1143. So also keep in mind that on the Loadmaster, the faster the motor goes, the more of a load there is on the load motor. So the SpeedZone actually saw a bigger load because it was spinning faster, 24,000 compared to 23,525. So you're looking at roughly 500 RPMs faster. And the SpeedZone had less amp draw. So I mean and the RPMs a little bit more, but could you go up a little bit more on the RPMs on the SpeedZone? That's the tricky part. This is where you have to throw it on the Jerry to do the actual comparison. But comparing these motors, to be honest with you, I don't think you'll see a difference on the track. They're pretty neck and neck. The Reds Racing, compared to the Red Racing, you have the numbers here. The Red Racing is a little bit faster, a lot less amp draw on that one there, amp less, I should say, and so on. So, yeah, comparing it up to the like the Hobby Wing G4R, you guys seen this here, and so on. Right there, the Surpass V6, the big boy up here. So here are my final thoughts on this motor. My final thoughts on this motor, it's a good motor without a doubt. It's a very, very competitive motor. If you're out there looking for something new, something that's not a lot of people have on the tracks, I don't know, maybe in your area the SpeedZone is really popular. Again, I haven't even heard the brand until I was on Roar Racing. I saw it on there, and it was there. I mean, it still has the epoxy glue around the windings, so the exterior of the motor will run a little bit cooler. It's going to be good. A lot of people saying that, well, it can't because it's not Roar legal. Well, the Roar rule on the epoxy on the windings kicks in next month, which is September 2025. They are not going to enforce that rule for the current motors, current made motors. They're not going to enforce that rule until December, the end of December. So it's going to be January 2027 is when that rule actually takes effect for the current motors. By then, I pretty much guarantee that you'll probably have a new motor by then anyways. So, my thoughts on this motor, I think it's a very competitive motor. I think it's a very good motor. It looks like it has some good torque. Looks like it has some pretty good RPM right there. I mean, as you can see, comparatively to the other ones, 2389, 23412, 2412, 21412, 21456. It's an excellent motor. Good speed, looks like it has good torque. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this motor. Again, this motor came out, I don't know if I mentioned, came out in January. Well, it was Roar approved in January 2024. So I'm guessing this came out on the market in December 2023, somewhere around there. But anyhow, go check it out. It's a good motor, 115 bucks, not bad. It's on the lower end of what motors are kind of going for right now. So anyhow, I hope this video was informative for you. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, please hit the like and subscribe. If you didn't like it, hit the like and subscribe anyway so you can make fun of all my other videos. Okay, everybody, you take care.